You think finding a hair in your takeout food is disgusting? Jeffrey Dahmer kept severed heads in his freezer next to Hot Pockets for 2 years. His neighbors complained about the smell, thinking it was just bad plumbing. It wasn't plumbing. Today we're breaking down the 5 most terrifying psychological profiles that the FBI uses to catch serial killers. These aren't movie monsters. These are real people who walked among us. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how 127 innocent people died and why your weird coworker suddenly doesn't seem so bad anymore. Between 1970 and 1990, America experienced what criminologists call the serial killer epidemic. Over 200 active serial killers were operating simultaneously across the United States. That's like having 4 serial killers per state, hunting victims while everyone went about their normal lives. Think about it. You probably interact with 50 to 100 strangers every day. Your Uber driver, barista, grocery store clerk, gym trainer. In the 1970s, any one of them could have been studying you as their next victim, and you thought online dating was scary. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit was created in 1972 specifically because of these cases. Before psychological profiling, the average serial killer operated for 7 years before being caught. Today, that number is down to 18 months. But here's the terrifying part. Experts estimate 25 to 50 serial killers are still active right now. One of them might live in your city. Number 5. Ted Bundy, the guy who made being handsome a weapon. Born November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. Killed at least 30 women across 7 states between 1974 and 1978. But here's what makes your skin crawl. He was everyone's dream boyfriend. Law student at University of Washington with a 3.5 GPA. Volunteered at a suicide prevention hotline, literally saving lives during the day. Talk about work-life balance issues. His co-workers described him as compassionate and trustworthy. Bundy's psychological profile: organized antisocial personality disorder, IQ of 136, smarter than 98% of the population. Zero empathy, but perfect at mimicking normal human emotions. He studied his victims like a predator studies prey. His signature move? The fake injury trick. Would wear a fake cast and ask women to help him load books into his car. Once they got close enough, he'd hit them with a crowbar. Like the world's most twisted Uber ride, except you never reached your destination. August 16, 1975. Utah Highway Patrol Officer Bob Hayward pulls over a suspicious Volkswagen Beetle. Inside, handcuffs, rope, crowbar, and ski mask. Bundy's explanation: "I found this stuff at a dump and thought it might be useful." The officer believed him and let him go. 12 more women died because of that traffic stop. Number 4. Richard Chase, the guy who made vampires look reasonable. Born May 23, 1950, in Sacramento, California, killed 6 people in January 1978 alone. His psychological profile: complete psychotic break from reality. Chase believed his blood was turning to powder and drying up. Convinced he needed fresh human blood to survive. Started by killing animals and drinking their blood in high school. But here's the part that kept FBI profilers awake at night. Chase would only enter homes with unlocked doors. His twisted logic? Locked doors meant he wasn't welcome. Serial killer etiquette. Who knew? January 23, 1978. Chase kills his first human victim, Teresa Wallin. Shot her 3 times, then mutilated her body and drank her blood. Left so much evidence that police knew they were dealing with someone completely unhinged. Unlike organized killers like Bundy, disorganized killers are sloppy but unpredictable. January 27, 1978, the Murath family massacre. Chase kills Evelyn Murath, her 6-year-old son Jason, and her 22-month-old nephew David. Takes the baby's body with him and cannibalizes it. This is when Sacramento realized they had a monster on their hands. Chase was caught because he was too disorganized to cover his tracks. Left fingerprints, blood evidence, and witnesses who saw his car. Arrested on January 3, 1979, AG, exactly 6 weeks after his first murder. The FBI learned that disorganized killers burn out fast, but cause maximum terror. Number 3. Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer who thought he was cleaning up society, born February 18, 1949, in Salt Lake City, Utah, killed at least 49 women over 20 years in Washington state. His mission? Eliminate sex workers because he believed they were disposable. Ridgway's psychological profile was terrifyingly methodical, average IQ of only 82, but incredibly organized in his killing patterns. Would dump bodies in clusters along the Green River. Returned to dump sites to have sex with decomposing corpses. Here's what made him nearly impossible to catch. Ridgway passed 4 separate polygraph tests between 1984 and 1986. His secret? He thought about his victims during control questions. This raised his stress levels for ALL questions, making lies undetectable. He literally outsmarted trained FBI profilers using dead bodies as mental props. 1982 to 2001, the longest serial killer investigation in U.S. history. Police interviewed Ridgway 3 separate times and released him each time. He was hiding in plain sight as a truck painter at Kenworth. Married 3 times, attended church regularly, seemed like a normal blue-collar guy. The breakthrough came from technology, not psychology. 2001, DNA evidence finally linked Ridgway to 4 victims. When confronted with the evidence, he confessed to 48 murders, then led police to body dump sites they never knew existed. Ridgway's confession interviews lasted 18 months, spoke about his victims like they were objects he disposed of. I picked prostitutes because I thought I could kill as many as I wanted without getting caught. He couldn't remember most of their names, but remembered exactly where he put their bodies. Number 2, John Wayne Gacy, the clown who turned childhood nightmares into reality. Born March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois, killed 33 young men between 1968 and 1978. Buried 26 bodies in the crawl space under his house. By day, successful construction contractor and Democratic Party volunteer. Performed as Pogo the Clown at children's birthday parties and charity events. Because apparently, regular clowns weren't terrifying enough, his neighbors knew him as a helpful guy who threw great backyard barbecues. Gacy's psychological profile revealed the ultimate contradiction: antisocial personality disorder with narcissistic traits, craved attention and admiration, while secretly torturing victims in his basement. Would lure teenage boys with promises of construction work, then handcuff them and explain that the trick was no key. December 11, 1978, police get a search warrant for 8213 West Summerdale Avenue. The smell was so overwhelming that officers needed gas masks. Found 26 bodies buried in the crawl space, stacked like cordwood. 3 more bodies buried elsewhere on the property. 4 thrown in local rivers. Gacy had been living above his own personal cemetery for 10 years. Told police he ran out of room in the crawl space, so he started using the river. Talk about the worst possible home inspection report. During his trial, Gacy showed zero remorse, called his victims worthless, and claimed they deserved it. His defense? Insanity plea based on multiple personality disorder. The jury didn't buy it. Took them only 2 hours to recommend death penalty. Executed by lethal injection on May 10, 1994. Number 1. Dennis Rader, BTK, bind, torture, kill. Born March 9, 1945, in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Killed 10 people between 1974 and 1991, then went silent for 13 years. His psychological profile was the most chilling because he was the most normal. Married father of 2, Boy Scout leader, church council president. Worked as a compliance officer, NES, literally enforcing rules for a living. His job was catching people who broke regulations. He coached his daughter's softball team and attended every PTA meeting. But in his basement, Rader kept detailed journals about his murders, drew pictures of his victims in bondage positions, practiced tying knots, and perfecting his signature killing method. Would masturbate while reading news coverage of his crimes. 2004, Rader got cocky and started communicating with police again. Sent letters to local TV stations asking why his case went cold, then made the mistake that ended his 30-year killing career. Asked police in a letter, "Can you trace a floppy disk?" Police lied and said no. February 16, 2005, Raider sends a floppy disk to KSAS TV. The metadata showed it was last used at Christ Lutheran Church. Apparently, being a compliance officer doesn't teach you about digital forensics. February 25, 2005, Raider arrested while driving to lunch, completely shocked that he was caught. DNA evidence linked him to all 10 murders within 48 hours, pleaded guilty and received 10 consecutive life sentences. Today's FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit uses AI and machine learning, can identify potential serial killers before they escalate to murder. Success rate has jumped from 35% in the 1970s to 85% today, prevented 12 potential serial killers in 2023 alone. But here's what keeps profilers awake at night. Current estimates suggest 25 to 50 active serial killers in the US right now. They're learning from the mistakes of Bundy, Gacy, Ridgway, and Raider. Getting smarter, more careful, better at blending in. The scariest part? These psychological profiles only work after someone starts killing. We're still reactive, not proactive, which means the next Ted Bundy is out there right now. Charming, intelligent, and completely undetected. So the next time someone seems too good to be true, trust your instincts, because the most dangerous predators are the ones who look like prey. And remember, stay weird, but not serial killer weird. Which psychological profile scared you the most? Drop a comment if you want more deep dives into criminal psychology, and hit that subscribe button, because apparently you enjoy being terrified. But wait, there's something even more disturbing that I haven't told you yet. Something that connects all 5 of these psychological profiles in a way that'll make you question everyone around you. Every single one of these killers had what psychologists call the mask of sanity. They weren't the wild-eyed maniacs you see in horror movies. They were your neighbors, co-workers, and the guy who helps you carry groceries to your car. Bundy worked at a suicide hotline. Gacy entertained children. Raider enforced community regulations. They were pillars of their communities while secretly being its greatest threats. Here's the part that keeps me up at night. According to the FBI's latest psychological research, 1 in every 25 people has antisocial personality disorder. That's 4% of the population. Do the math. In a room of 50 people, 2 of them have the same psychological foundation as these killers. They just haven't been triggered yet. The difference between your weird coworker and Ted Bundy isn't as big as you think. It's often just opportunity, circumstance, and a few key psychological triggers. Environmental stress, childhood trauma, substance abuse, or major life changes can push someone with antisocial tendencies over the edge into violence. But here's the empowering part. Now you know what to look for. Excessive charm that feels calculated, stories that don't add up, people who seem too perfect or too interested in your personal details. Trust your gut when something feels off. Your subconscious picks up on psychological red flags that your conscious mind might dismiss. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit exists because ordinary people like you and me learn to recognize these patterns. Every psychological profile we discussed today was built from the mistakes these killers made. Their arrogance, their need for attention, their inability to truly understand human emotion. These became their downfall. So the next time you're walking alone at night, getting into an Uber, or meeting someone new, remember these psychological profiles, not to live in fear, but to live with awareness. Because the most important lesson from studying serial killers isn't about them, it's about us. Our ability to recognize danger, trust our instincts, and protect ourselves and others. These monsters thought they were smarter than everyone else. They thought they could manipulate and control without consequence. But every single one of them was caught because they underestimated the power of human psychology working against them instead of for them. Stay curious, stay aware, and most importantly, stay alive. Because the best revenge against these psychological predators is living a life they tried to steal from others.